Welcome back, you restless spirits of adventure, to another exciting day of Let's Playing. I am Chezni, your humble host today, to another episode of Aidyn Chronicles. Last we left off, we were still bouncing around the inside of this strange tower that Shamsuk intends to call his home once he has finished building it. I'm assuming this is a door? No, this is nothing. This is a wall. Apparently there really are just only two doors to this place. Last we left off, actually we already did the last left. Today we will be hopefully finishing the tower, or at least making more progress in it. We found another hallway here, leading to another picture. What did we assume? We assumed that that was Shamsuk's wife? Oh boy, we're getting some crazy hallway action here. Another bout with two spirit wolves and some plague zombies. Hopefully we can end this before any meaningful incident occurs. I'm actually quite impressed. Shamsuk's tower itself is fairly large, just considering all the other locations we've been to in the game. When you think about what made the goblin camps in Alaron big, it was the mountainside itself, but the actual tents were quite small when you got in the inside. Then of course eventually we would make our way to Chaos Island, which I would argue even Chaos Island was not that big. It was just filled with so many monsters that it felt big. Then we make our way here to Shamsuk's tower, which actually does have quite a few rooms. I'd say that the last place we visited that seemed to have even as many rooms was why can't I target the spirit wolf? Anyway, was Castle Grania was the last place that even had kind of the structure of rooms that we're in right now. Anyway, I'm not really sure where Shamsuk himself is, and there's plenty of twists and turns in this tower that we still have not made our way to, making the tower very non-linear, and I love that. I think that's definitely something Aidyn Chronicles succeeds at, is in general, most locations in the game are completely non-linear as far as progress made through them. Now, of course, we were discussing earlier that the plot itself is a fairly linear process, and it is. But once you get to the prime locations of the plot, you tend to have quite a bit of freedom as to where you go, what you discover, and what you find. I really do want to comprehensively map out the entirety of this tower, because unfortunately, once you do the tower, you can't come back, as far as I recall. Maybe I should test that, though. I think in my head I just say, you can't come back, but I don't know if I've ever actually tried to go back. Regardless, there's a moment in the tower where you are rested, control of your characters is rested as an important event happens, and it's been so long, I only have vague recollections of this event. I probably have only made it through Shamsuk's tower like twice, in spite of starting the game, you know, a dozen times. And the tower isn't exactly a place with a lot of concrete locations that you could be like, oh, right, there's the, you know, the, or I shouldn't say concrete locations that make sense to a normal tower. Yes, there was a kitchen, but it was like filled with it looked like a cannibal's kitchen. Apparently there was a bathroom with 5 stalls and 4 plague zombies. I think it's more just the befuddling nature of the location in general which makes it difficult to commit to memory. We gotta go back and see at some point. I'm a little worried about going too far because there was that big Shiva statue. I guess we need to check the portrait, see if there's a secret door. Doesn't look like it. We'll check these sconces. Menu. How do you get to the menu? Oh. It's so random. Our characters seem to just sometimes heal and sometimes not. I'm not really sure what's dictating that, or navigating that, or managing that. The log is far beyond the ability of Brenna to pick. You know, we've been picking up keys our entire time in this tower. I wonder if we've actually ran into a couple doors that required these keys, but we would have no way of knowing that because the game isn't giving us a message saying so-and-so key was used or something. So perhaps we need to go find another key. Now this is certainly interesting. We see a large number of tomb rats and a darkened bat. These comprising of some of the weakest monsters in the game at this point. Dwarfed only by their lesser variants, the regular rat and the just giant bat. Or is it a giant rat? I can't quite remember. Probably giant. Now again, I'm confused as to why Brenna didn't cast lightning on the other two targets. Were they out of her range? They must have been. It's kind of difficult to tell, but I thought all 4 characters were highlighted earlier when we cast it. We got a scroll for wind. That's elemental magic, right? We could teach it to Brenna, I guess. It's not like Nizan needs it. Well, it's not like even Brenna needs it, but we're more likely to get rid of Nizan after all this is said and done. I still haven't quite decided. Oh, Brenna already knows it. Alright, Nizan, today's your lucky day. You haven't quite decided who our party should be. I feel bad. I didn't even mean to kick off Beckon earlier. I feel like we should go pick up the old guy, the old timer. This seems like a rather unfinished part of the tower. A bunch of empty rooms here. But I saw something. Oh, yep. There's a giant skeleton walking around. Patrolling the halls. It's a lot of giant skeletons. Memory serves, these guys are fairly resistant to spells, so we're going to open this up with a strength spell. We will have Rita attempt her hand at brilliance, and then we will see if chance is in our favor as we roll the dice on a fireball or a dragon flame or something, and then if that doesn't work, we'll just have to commit ourselves fully to physical damage. So who all are our playable characters? Who could we have taken to this tower? Because at this point we've pretty much run into all available party members sans 1. Although I was looking at a guide recently, and there are 2 characters I don't think I've even ever got on my team before. Or even seen, or if I've seen, I didn't realize they were playable characters. I can't even remember who they were. So I can't account for those characters, but I think one of them was like in an inn, or like he was like a barkeep or something, I don't know. But we could have gotten Arturo, Keelan, Godric. We could have kept Abrakin through this whole thing. That would have been interesting. He'd probably at this point been capped out stat-wise. Oh! We're getting a successful cast here. My goodness! Look at the 99s. 85, okay. Well, this is certainly a lot more effective than the last time we tried this. What about Brennan Lightning? Well, is Brilliance really just the answer? I think it is. Holy 75! My goodness! Okay, you know I've been making fun of naming magic like the entire game. I think I'm gonna have to rescind that comment. Like, what is our int? I know we figured this out last episode, but holy, plus 20. Yeah, it really is just 22 per level of the spell. Strength does the same thing, so we have 50 strength. 50 int. That's a lot of int. It's like 66% more int. Where was that when I was in college? But okay, I guess, you know, the value of Rita definitely going up there. Just being able to make your spells work. Now, I know the little skeletons would have been affected regardless, probably, but the consistency. We're 3 for 3 on casts right now. Dare we go for 4 for 4? Well, of course. It's not like it's that much of a gamble, but... yeah. Alright, Rita is invaluable, if only just to be an enabler for your spells. I mean, Alaron could do the same thing. In fact, I haven't ruled out the possibility that we might also give Brilliance to Alaron, just so that we have 2 chances to cast the spell early in a fight. That's a little unfair to compare anyone to Alaron, considering you can do, well, literally everything in the game. Yeah, okay. I'm sold. Naming magic isn't useless, and Brilliance makes the magic happen. What is this fun house? Why? Having fun, says Willy Wonka in the back of my head. Wait, what? Did that... oh, that treasure chest totally did pop out of nowhere. I was just hitting the A button in anticipation of checking the wall. Alright. Moderately moderate trap. Restore potion, not very useful. Fair amount of gold. Ooh, we're actually running low on gemstones. How did that happen? Let's check our spell go. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're about 50 and 40. Should probably check to see what we're using a lot. Fireball's probably the biggest offender, isn't it? Come on, Fireball, what do you cost? Spice? That's funny. Spice was what we had the most of, 52. And 42 gemstones. What's costing our gemstones? I would assume Dragon Flame, but does lightning cost? Yeah. Lightning. Okay. So that's probably why our gemstones are running a little low. So we're probably not in any real danger of running out. We're still at about 50% reserves, 50-40. But it is something to consider if we spend much more of a prolonged time in here, and or when we inevitably make our escape. So it seems like this big unfinished... wait. Is the ceiling actually connected to those walls? Yes. Okay. No? Hold up. No, I don't think it is. It's hard to tell. I don't think the ceiling is connected. Do you see how we see more of the ceiling as we rotate the camera down? I don't think the ceiling is connected to every single wall in here. Anyway, we found that chest in the middle, but it didn't really contain anything useful. I mean, I guess the gemstones were actually a pretty welcome sight at this point, but nothing uniquely useful. Oh, what now? A single Minotaur? Oh, a Minotaur Lord. Is this the first and only Minotaur Lord we've seen? Hey, look, he even has a different portrait. What? Are his graphics different? Looks like he's got kind of a fancy tunic. Wait, he's got no axe. Where's his axe? Hold up. We're not gonna kill this guy. We're gonna see what he does. This is too much. Oh, right. Minotaurs don't have axes. They just headbutt you. Alright, that's less exciting. I was kind of thinking he would, like, start casting or something. But no. Oh, there's quite a bit of HP. Defense as well. I mean, I don't think we're in any danger here, but yeah, he's not going to go down quickly. Bit like a plague zombie in terms of defense. Oh, come on. Rita, get in there. Rita! Give him the fire staff. Give him the staff. Throw your garbage at him, Alaron. Maybe we should give Alaron some actually decent missile skill, but it's just not worth it. If Alaron is throwing things, we're already in a fight that we're either A, already winning, or B, have already lost. Interestingly, so we find a blood key. Perhaps that's the key that we were looking for the door. We'll have to go test that out. Oh, and a pile of treasure. Oh. What do we got here? Curing Stealth Wall of Bones. Too bad we already have that one, but that's fine. With no necromancers on the team, we can't really make use of it with anyone else, but that's fine. Actually, I don't know if you... Do you ever get a necromancer on your team? Maybe one of the two characters that I was reading the guide about are necromancers. I'm not sure. I really did just skim the guide. I didn't look up how to get them. I just noticed that there were two names listed that I wasn't familiar with. Well, we probably found all the important bits in this particular location, but we'll continue to just kind of explore it here. Looks like we found a door. Okay, this door. Alright, picture Shemsuk. I think there was another hallway that had a picture of, no, his wife. There was a hallway that looked a lot like the hallway we just exited from. Whatever. I'm getting confused and turned around, and admittedly an easy thing to do for me. To me. Let's go back to that Shiva statue. I call it a Shiva statue. It wasn't... I don't know if it was actually a Shiva statue, but... The weird looking god... Yeah, here we go. I mean, I guess it does have 4 arms. I can't quite remember the number of arms Shiva has. It's more than 2. Wait, is that it? What is this? Is it literally just a statue? We fought a wight here. It seems to just be a ritual room. Huh. What are these things? Mugs? Wait. Mugs? 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 Is this a meeting location? Sorry, is this where all the cultists get together and have a good time? They worship the giant idol of weirdness and throw back a few, and alright. Well, I guess that's it. It's got that eyeball on the top. We've seen that eyeball above some of the doors. Yeah, I guess it is. They just, you know, you come to the mess hall, you grab your food, you finish your food, you take your drink with you, you come to the... What is... I mean, I guess this would be... What would you call this? A chapel? We're gonna call it the Dark Chapel. Okay, well... I thought that there was more for us to do at that statue, but apparently not. Now we just have to... Oh gosh darn it. We have to find our way back to the room where we needed that key. Because I think, mercifully, that might be... Oh, what? I was gonna say, mercifully, that might be the last location we haven't been and the correct way to go. Although there was that walkway where we fell down into this whole place to begin with. Remember the trap door that had us fall down into the morgue? I kind of wish we could go back up there, because I feel like we should, you know, avoid the trap and see what was on the other side of the hallway. I hope we aren't barred from doing that. We might be. There just might not be a way back up. We'll have to find out. I don't know, maybe you have to fall down the trapdoor. Maybe there's not another way. Mysteries abound. We're like 50 hours in, still trying to uncover every nook and cranny, and there are still questions left unanswered. Oh, wraiths. So early on when I was playing Aidyn Chronicles, I was actually pretty terrified of wraiths. It was before I realized that they needed a magic weapon to be struck, and at that point of the game, the only person with a magic weapon was... I want to say... Well, no, I had two people, because I had Abrakin with Warfang, and Brenna with, I think it's something called like a Shadow Blade, or a Stealth Blade or something. And I thought, erroneously, that the only reason that Abrakin was hitting them was because his warrior skill was so high. And I thought the only reason that Brenna was hitting them was because her thief backstab skill was so high. And at that point I didn't really know what I was doing, and even Abrakin wasn't an amazing fighter at that point. And I had to whittle down the Wraith's HP bit by bit, and believe it or not, there were several occasions where a single Wraith would kill someone just with their physical attacks. They'd cast Wraith Touch on everyone, and then they'd start physically attacking people, and I would just die. I would lose somebody, usually Brenna. So it is amusing to fight them now, and I don't think at any point in the game we've really been threatened by them. The earliest Wraith you can fight, to my knowledge, is the one where you rob the wand from Catherine? You can see how terrible I am with names. I'm the guy who called Mago Maxwell for like 70 episodes. But yeah, when you steal the wand off the body of the deceased wife, and that's the first one you can fight. And I remember legitimately having to not steal, like I had to load an earlier save because the Wraith just kept party killing me. That being said, now that we have a full and comprehensive knowledge of the combat system and the way stats work, etc., there is almost no threat whatsoever from these Wraiths. But I suppose, you know, to the unindoctrined player, they are an exciting thing to behold. They're a bit impotent in this playthrough, though. Still give quite a bit of EXP. Alright, so we have like 100,000 EXP on Brenna. I think we put her up to 10 on Wizard. Yeah, so that's going to be the most expensive thing. Are there any spells? We could give Brenna Dragon Flames, I guess. I don't really feel a strong need to, though. I guess we just give her Warrior. I know that's boring, but like better backstabs are better backstabs, so why not? We'll put a point in Sword. Same with Rita, I guess. We could give her Warrior 10? That just feels silly. Why did she have 31 stamina? Well, now that we know that buffing our own stats is actually good, I mean, endurance, we already know what endurance does, but giving everyone 20 extra HP is pretty cool, so I guess we'll level up endurance. It's more cool than leveling up Warrior, at least. Let's see what else we got here. In the world of Alaron, I'm going to complain about it again. I'm mad that haste doesn't work. But whatever. Wall of Bones, I suppose. Keep doing Wall of Bones for Alaron. Eventually, he'll cast Wall of Bones with the same ferociousness as the monsters we have fought that used it themselves. What the heck is this? What the blazes? Alright. We have a couple things to analyze. First, there's one of those needle beakers that we saw in the lab that was used to either drain fluid or put fluid into something. We also see a corpse, and I can't rotate the camera like that. It's not letting me, so I'm having a hard time getting a good look at it. Oh, it's another one of those bird people. What is his obsession with this bird person? This one looks a lot bigger than the last one. In fact, last time we saw one, wasn't it hooked up to a machine? It kind of looked like, didn't we see one that looked a bit like a dryad? Because it had the wings, but then we also saw the other bird thing that had, like, various body parts attached to it. So I suppose this is just more of Shemsuk's mad experiments. Looks like some sort of leg or appendage coming out of that drawer. You can say one thing for Shamsuk. He certainly is organized with his body parts. Oh, a nice little sarcophagus. Can't interact with it. Potions and vials. An assortment of... But wait, what? What the... Huh. Okay, 100%, guys. I don't think I've ever seen that monster. I don't know if I've ever been here before. Like, sorry, I know I'm pausing, but like, I don't know what that thing is. I guess we'll safety save. What is our actual playtime? Okay, 45 hours. Not quite up to 50. Not to 50 yet. Don't have that accolade. That notch on our belt. But yeah, what the heck is this thing? Look, it's like shaking the ground as it walks. What is this? Maybe I have fought one of these before, but I just don't... What is it? I'm like kind of worried. Is Air Shield too cautious? It kind of looks like something that would beat us to death, so let's go ahead and cast it. So it looks kind of like the golems, but kind of not. What would you even describe that as? A shambling Hulk? An iron golem? Well, no, the other ones were iron golems, right? What is this thing? It's huge. Looks pretty cool too. I know the textures are awful, but conceptually it looks interesting. It seems to have some sort of metallic gilding on its head, feet that are wooden with plants growing on them, and then the rest of him seems to be made of stone and wood. Some sort of arcane markings on his back. Well, we'll go ahead and use Brilliance and see if we can hit him with a spell. I don't know, there's only one of them. Of course, there was only one Minotaur Lord, and he was kind of a pushover, so... I'm just not sure what to expect. You would assume this thing is just going to come over and beat us to death. I don't really expect there to be spells coming out of this guy. Alright, Brenna. Show him what's up. Oh. Oh, it's just an Earth Elemental. Never mind, I probably have fought this before, considering the other elementals we've encountered. I was getting all worried for nothing. Oh gosh. Wait, that was 32 damage with an air shield. Maybe the worry was justified. That was 32 damage attacking from the front through an air shield. Admittedly, their HP doesn't seem to be too high though. Or rather, their defenses don't seem to be too high. High HP, low defense. Alright, so an Earth Elemental. Oh, again, we are at full HP. Okay, well, what is this room? We have a bonfire in the center of the room. We have, oh, chest. A couple of stealth potions. A strange crystal and a mushroom. A box. Control elemental. Interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't defeat the Marquis, so we don't have control Marquis. Oops. Here we are. I guess we'll teach that to Alaron. Control Elemental. I don't know if that's going to ever be useful. Oh, we have it. Charms one elemental, causing it to fight for the party for the remainder of the battle or until it is killed. Well, it would make sense that it would stop fighting for you after it was dead. Alright, so a nifty spell in a room that kind of looks like a hippie room with the mushroom and the pillow pads, but... Okay. What? Hold up, is that an octopus? Wait, what? I wanted to see what was in the container. Looked like a green octopus. Probably just a skull. Tomb rats and a low roll on lightning means somebody else will have to sweep up the remnants. Or the remaining HP of these things. Very low roll. That was loud. It's fine, we don't need to see the numbers of damage we're doing. I was being sarcastic, show me the numbers. No! We'll never know. We'll never know what numbers we were dealing. No, we don't want to dispel Necro. Okay, perhaps we were dealing 45. Perhaps. We should just be happy we're fighting something where we don't actually... Oh, come on! What is that? Just kill it. Anyway, fight something where we can gratuitously just cast things on them and they immediately die, for the most part. Yeah, it's like a one-eyed skull. In what I assume is supposed to look like water. The texture's being a little weird. But yeah. I can't interact with it. Oops. We've got a big book here. Oh, and a box. Okay, some herbs, not terribly useful. But look, this is strange. Okay, look at this. When we're on this side of it, we're like up to the height of the shelf. But then the ramp goes down and I don't know, it's weird. It makes me feel like it's an optical illusion. I know it's not. Just, you know, we've moved down, but it looks like suddenly it gets bigger. I know, I'm being dumb. Alright. Let's take another look around. A disposal shaft? Or something? Seriously, I feel like we're getting smaller. That can't be actually what they're trying to do, right? No. I don't know why that's even there, or why this is here, and why we have trouble exiting. Oh, come on, Alan. There we go. Well, whatever. So aside from the baubles and windows that look out to the sea and whatever the heck that is, I don't think there's anything in this room. Just more strangeness. Another half-finished storage room. Oh, and a huge pile of carrion. Cool. Oh, did we really need to fight this many? The answer is no. At least they're regular zombies. So, analytically, they spent like a huge amount of time making all of these rooms fairly unique. Compare this perhaps to a more traditional JRPG where tile sets get reused and assets just repeat, largely because that's just the way that pixel art works. It's rather easy to just copy paste the same tile and move it across a series of hallways, but yeah, it's just interesting that they did a lot of work, at least, to try to make each and every room different. Now, of course, to what success, that is something that is debatable, because the rooms and their assets sometimes are as hilarious as the flowers that look like they were drawn on pieces of paper and stuck next to the vase. But at the same time, you know, it was ambitious to attempt to create so many unique locations, although ultimately you do have to scratch your head and ask why. Because while the locations themselves are fascinating, it's almost kind of like just being taken on tour. You get to look at all these neat things, but what do we really do to interact with them? I suppose in some manner it tells us a story, because, you know, we've been able to piece together information about Shamsuk based on the rooms that we've discovered, the locations and strange things that he has. For instance, we know that he probably bred and kept captive various monsters. We also know that he has some kind of weird dark chapel with a giant four-armed statue of a... wait a minute. She was blue-skinned, wasn't she? She might have been a Jundar, now that I think of it. I'm not sure. But what purpose would there be for Shamsuk to have a connection with a Jundar goddess? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, overall, I mean, you know, we can glean bits and pieces about him. We certainly got more evidence to support the idea that he is attempting to bring back his wife. Whether or not that's true or not doesn't really matter. The fact is, there was enough things that we could at least wonder if that's perhaps the tale of Shamsuk. But at the end of the day, we are just walking through a bunch of rooms and just looking at things. We can't actually interact with any of the experiments. There's no descriptions. We can't investigate them or obtain components from them. Perhaps it's a bit too much to ask, given how messy so many things in this game are, but it would be nice if, when you investigated some of these objects, if we got an internal monologue of Alaron's assessment of them. As it stands now, we only have our own assessment, which in a way is a different kind of storytelling that is unique. The information we are receiving from our environment isn't spun by the narrative of the main character, because we only have our own interpretation, not the text of an onlooker in the game describing what we're seeing. But that being said, I think it would benefit probably more if, you know, you did investigate the strange bird body and it gave a bit of a description so that we could know, like, is this a bird body? Is this actually a bunch of different you know, body parts put together? You know, just simple things like that would have been nice to get a little bit of confirmation and direction as far as what we're supposed to be taking away from everything. But it is kind of the unique experience that is Aidyn Chronicles in general, which is this narrative that by and large is told not through text or even necessarily cinematics where characters are talking to each other, but predominantly through your exploration of the environment itself. I think in a lot of ways that is what defines Aidyn Chronicles. It is less an adventure that is told to you and more than an adventure that has to be gone out and grasped, witnessed firsthand. Because no one is going to tell you what's going on here. You just have to figure it out for yourself. Oh, what? Okay, so we found that room. That's good, I guess. I don't know why the rat needed to come back. Spoilers, it didn't need to come back. I would have been perfectly happy if it just stayed dead. I didn't even realize we'd made it back up to the room that we fell down in through. Regardless, though, hopefully these are the only things that come back, because I am not okay with fighting our way through all these hallways again. Come on, big money, big money. Oh, or you can just not cast it on the fourth one. Brenna, I don't understand. It was right in front of you. I guess Brenna can, or Rita can just beam the thing. Well, it does mean that we've more than likely explored the majority of the rooms that I thought we missed, simply due to the fact that I think we came up on the other side of that trap door. That fight and the time we spend in it is not worth 2100 EXP. Or rather, 2100, yeah, I need to reword that. 2100 EXP is not worth the time that we spend in that fight. Because we need to find a way back up. Mercifully, it does look like everything else has stayed dead. We're back in the toilet room. No! Alright, I am a bit lost. I know we've been in all these places before, but I don't know how to get to where we want to go. I'm just gonna keep trying doors here. This room again. Maybe we should try to be a bit more logical about this. Alright, we entered in from the west on our map, which means that we've got that door, we got 4 doors. Let's try this one. No. Let's try this one. Okay, this one, no, this one leads to the toilet room, I believe. This is the beast den, which ultimately seems to lead nowhere. Yeah. Okay, so the beast den isn't useful. Then we've got the room with the Shamsuk statue, which leads into the room with the Shiva statue. Let's call it the Jundar statue. The Jundar statue, which leads into the room with the mess hall. I feel like the mess hall is where we... Yeah, the mess hall is where we want to be, because we come up here, and then we're on the next floor. Right. Oh, and there's a doorway we haven't tried. Oh, and of course a monster that we haven't fought. A lot of big guys here. I kind of want to try Wall of Bones, but that seems optimistic, so we'll just focus on Dragon Flames instead. Which are going to be ineffective because we don't have 50 int. Lovely. Yep. Give him the business, Neeson. Just walked over to that skeleton and punched it in the face. Get out of my fight. So what do you suppose? What room are we in now? It's a kind of branching hallway. It's kind of the only thing we have to look forward to in this fight. We're like, oh, goody. Another fight. Ugh, Brenda, don't make us actually have to try. Even with the int boost, Dragonflame still hits pretty low on these guys. It's probably still worth it, just because Alaron chucking things doesn't really do very much. Nice. $11 isn't a ton, but I don't know. 11 plus 30 plus 6. So bad. Now, hopefully we'll just pick this one off before the other one comes over. If we were going to give Alaron a different weapon, I mean, what weapon would it be? It's a pity we can't give him Elisheva's scythe. I feel like that's applicable for some reason, to give him the weapon of the previous wilding. Or the spirit of the previous wilding. But no, the only character who could even wield it is Beacon. Strangely. And then of course, I mean, I don't think it would be very good even if you did equip it. Brenna. Nizan. Guys. You're supposed to be winning the fight, not losing. Don't make me regret not casting Air Shield and Strength. So it looks like, interestingly, Brenna's been taking 2 points of poison damage each round. And I know I said at some point that poison only deals 1 damage. But apparently these plague zombies inflict some kind of status effect that deals 2, which is interesting to a point. It's still pretty ineffective, but mathematically speaking, it's a 100% increase in DOT damage. So they had the capability of increasing the damage that you take from DOT. In fact, our own spells, such as Immolation and Acid Splash, it's not Acid Splash, you know, the acid one, do the same thing in higher numbers. I don't know if they just were afraid of, like, the player having to deal with DOT, or what. Yeah, Neezen's taking 2 damage per round. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not asking for them to introduce something that kills me faster. I'm not like, oh yeah, I wish I was dying or something, but like, I don't know. Like, 'cause in order to combat it, you would just have to heal more, which doesn't necessarily make the fights more exciting or interesting. Got a maul? I don't know if that's important. Yeah, having to heal more probably just would make the fights take longer. Maybe that's why they didn't bother making the DOT stronger. I don't know. Maybe they just forgot. Oh well. Well, we're in this hallway again with the two pictures. No, this is the first time we were in this hallway. Well, alright then. I think that just about accounts for everything on this floor. Yep. So what, do we just keep going up? Oh, we're back here. With the paper cup flower. So I think it seems that each of the floor plans are circular? I hit the button on that piece of the ground because the ground looked funny. There's totally a secret passage here. That sounded like a 3-year-old describe. I hit the button because the ground looked funny. What the crap? What? What's the... What? What's the point of that? Why? What does that even do? Hold up. Is there maybe something down here? No, there's just this desk. I'm hitting A on every wall. I don't know. I don't know, guys. You know, for those moments where Shamsuk would want to like sneakily travel from one side of the very small tower to the next. You know, that passageway's for him. Anyway, what I was getting at earlier was that each section of each floor of the tower seems to hold, at this point, some kind of circular motif. And since we started at the top of the tower, we'll want to travel down. Not really sure where I'm going now. Wait, this is the room where we fall down. So let's try going this way. Maybe we can investigate some of this stuff that we never got to see. Looks like it's just nothing. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's just keep going down then. It seems that there's nothing else here. Assuming, of course, we can find out which direction down is. What is on there? I don't even know what that is. Okay, I appear to be a bit lost again. Is there no down direction? Wait a minute, if we fall down here, we'll just go down. We have to fight the rat again, what? Alright, we're gonna try to sneak. What button do I have that sneaks? Do I not have it mapped? Oh my goodness, I don't think I have it mapped. Oh wait, there it is. Alright, we're gonna try and sneak past this. What just happened? That was... okay. Apparently we just fell off the world. Goodbye, everybody. Okay, I guess we'll fight the rat. It beats falling off the world into the darkness. Apparently trying to sneak off of the gurney causes us to clip through the geometry. But Chezni, I hear you say, think of the value. Think of all that EXP you're getting from this fight. Yeah, I don't know, fellow viewer. The spice cost, though. It's 132 gold, or however much it costs. Yeah, we might just run out of gold. Game's been pretty stingy with giving it to us, right? Alright, alright. Enough jokes. Oh, Neeson, what do we do with you, buddy? Guess we'll give you more. Oh, just kidding, we won't give you more verse necromancy. Mirror is okay, we'll give him mirror. Verse star seems kind of pointless. Giving him more alchemy doesn't really do anything. Healer, I guess, would let him heal more in a fight. I don't know if that's really useful, because the only time that would be useful is if someone was in danger and it didn't roll around to their turn, because the curing potions just heal so much. We could give him endurance to give him even more HP? Dispels any fog that may be present on the battlefield. I don't know if you know this game, but I don't think fog is a mechanic that we actually ever encounter. Well, we gotta pick something. I guess we'll just give him spells. Giving him wind is just an insult, so we will not give him wind. We will give him healer 10. Okay, so now that we're down here again, let's focus on getting out of here. We need to find that room that we found that we couldn't get through because we didn't have the key. And then we found the blood key, and it was all like, oh, maybe the blood key goes to that room. I'm sure that made perfect sense to you. Ugh. I don't even remember how we got to that room. Okay, so these two doors just lead to the same room. Wait, just kidding, they don't lead to the same room. And then we came out of the closet, but we didn't go in, and then we can't go into the closet now, and we need to find, what, like a secret door? To get to where we need to go or something. I think there's a secret door over here. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. This is where we need to go. Because again, we just want to keep going down. Down to the burning ring of fire. Did we ever actually go this way? Did we try to go into the fire? Hey, fire! No, you're not gonna let us go in there. That's fine, I think this is where we need to be anyway. We need to find that weird... It was like a weird, twisty hallway. Yeah, I think this is it. Alright, guys. Yep. Looks like the blood key was what we needed. Really? A wraith? Really? We don't need to fight this. We don't need this kind of harassment. So we're not casting Brilliance for the wraiths. We're casting it for the skeletons. The wraith will have to be dispatched probably by Brenna, Neeson, and Rita. We'll just let Alaron clean up the skeletons. There's our darkness. You don't suppose that's what wind dispels, do you? It's not even worth testing. Maybe fog is a status effect that happens when you're outside. And it makes ranged attack. Oh, we actually hit the wraith. Wow. Huh. Maybe we will cast spells on these guys. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe fog is a status effect that only happens outside. Of course, if it has, I don't think we've seen it. I mean, the idea of a spell that does blow away certain status effects in addition to being an offensive spell is interesting. Kind of is reminiscent of the whole stinking cloud and then pocket of air interaction in D&D. Although I always thought it was a little silly that basically pocket of air existed simply to counter stinking cloud, even though it said like, oh, it creates a pocket of air that you can breathe in, and like, you know, it's supposed to have all these other benefits, but realistically it just looked like they could have removed the entire description of the spell and just wrote in counter stinking cloud. I guess it probably affected other spells too, but I don't know if I've ever seen anyone use it to do anything other than counter stinking cloud. Yeah, we're going down, 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 further and further. I'm excited. This room again. So we have two options, right and left. Oh boy. Fun house. Let's go the direction the zombie isn't. I'm starting to get a little confused as to how this tower exists in 3D space. What just happened? Like, the circular floor plans make sense. But how does this madness fit in? Oh my goodness. We keep going in and out of doors, and I think it's just jettisoning us out at random locations. Kind of like Scooby-Doo. That's actually a decent Dragon Flame cast, considering we don't have Brilliance on yet. My, though, this tower just keeps going and going and going. We're on floor, what, like 6, 7? Something like that. Now, I don't know if anybody actually played this way, because I wasn't old enough to even really be aware of how games were played. I don't even know if I was really born early enough to know, but in original D&D, I believe the way the instruction book was written was that you were supposed to design a 9-level dungeon. I have the old instruction books. Oh, they're not behind me anymore, but somewhere, the original D&D manuals and stuff. And skimming them over as a kid, I'm pretty sure it said something like, you know, create a 9-level dungeon, and then your players choose how deep they go. And the idea was that you could only put like level 1 monsters on level 1, level 2 monsters would go on level 2 and stuff like that. I could be butchering this completely. I don't know why I think this, so if I'm just completely wrong about this, feel free to correct me. I don't want to spread misinformation, but yeah, so the idea was that your party started at the top where it was the easiest. So even if your characters were like level 7, I think level 7 was the limit of to how high you could get in original D&D. There just wasn't any levels higher than that. And so even if you had like your level 7 character, they would start out on this level 1 of the dungeon, and where you would fight these really weak monsters, and then after you got to the stairs for each next level of the dungeon, you were, you know, the dungeon master was supposed to ask, you know, do you proceed? Do you continue? And so the party had to gauge risk and reward. Do we keep pressing on? You know, have we used too many spells? Are our characters too injured? Is somebody in danger? You know, and you'd make the decision whether or not to continue based on that. The only reason I bring up that long and rather pointless anecdote was just the idea that here we are in this dungeon, we're just going down, 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 one more level, one more level, one more level. And if the creators of Aidyn Chronicles did subscribe on some level to the gameplay of D&D, then this is sort of reminiscent of that. Reminiscent of this concept of beginning in the first level of the dungeon and then just proceeding to go down each level. Now, of course, the monsters aren't getting stronger as we get lower. We're still fighting the same monsters, so that doesn't apply here. But it is at least a comparison of sorts. I tell you what, once we get out of this dungeon though, if we see another zombie, it'll be too soon. It's definitely a good thing we don't have the spells per day system. Something I noticed while we were walking through the hallway was our compass did indeed show night and day. Which I wasn't sure if time was passing while we were in the tower or not, but it would seem that it is. Which means that our characters would be affected by, I assume even though we're inside, they would be affected by the solar cycles. And so perhaps some of those awful casts we were getting in some of the fights in earlier episodes were literally caused by the fact that we were fighting at night, in spite of being in a tower where you would expect daylight not to really matter. Regardless, we seem to be at least gaining a certain level of proficiency at cleaning up these things. Oh, whoops. Oops, I didn't mean to cast Brilliance. Wait a minute. Look, when I try to cast Brilliance, do you see how it does that? Sorry. Let me describe what's happening, because it's probably somewhat difficult to see, actually visualize. When I go to Brilliance, it acts as if it's going to cast, but I can't select anything. The exact same thing happens when we go to cast Haste. Perhaps, because we have 30 dexterity, the game is hard-coded to not allow our movement to be any higher, which means that Haste as a spell still works. It's just that we can't get any more movement points. I bet that's what's happening. So, Haste isn't busted. It's just pointless after you get 30 dex, would be my guess. The only way to prove my theory would be to make it to this point of the game with a character with lower than 30 dex. Or, if we recruit someone, and they have lower than 30 dex, we can test that out. I bet that's what's happening, though. Alright, so we fought that plague zombie. Perhaps this is the direction we need to go. Let's keep walking down the hallway, why not? Okay, let's start using things to orient ourselves. Let's call this the manuscript door. And let's walk to the end of... Well, let's try this door randomly. Nope. Because picking random doors doesn't seem to help us. Oh, but there's another manuscript door. But there's that same one there. Okay, if we try this door, does it do anything? No, but it seems to eject us on the other side of the hallway. Ah, and there's our manuscript door. So we can use it as a certain level of orientation. There's the second manuscript door. Now I don't know where we are. Let's try this door, maybe? Oh, well, we're back here at least. I guess we'll try the other purple door, see where that takes us. Oh boy, that has a very final boss feeling to it, doesn't it? Maybe we'll end the episode here. So in the next episode, we'll try to figure out what the heck is going on with that weird hallway that just keeps repeating itself. And then we'll come back to here and see what the heck is going on in the rainbow dimension. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. In the next episode, perhaps we will finally be finished with Shamsuk's Tower. So I'm looking forward to it. I will see you then.